Hey, I'm Hunt, and this is Hunt on LSU, your channel for LSU Fighting Tiger football talk. Enjoy the video. We want you to leave a comment below, hit that like button, and subscribe right below the video. Enjoy. On the defense, they've got 11 players on this list, and 7 hail from LSU. There are 2 from Oklahoma, 1 from Texas A&M, and 1 from Notre Dame. Starting on the defensive line, we know that LSU has put out some fantastic defensive linemen over the years, and there are only 2 on this list. The other 2 come from elsewhere. Frank Alexander from Southern Lab, who signed there in 2007, is one. I don't remember Frank Alexander at all, and I was in college when that happened. Signed and ended up at Oklahoma. Glenn Dorsey, I do remember him. Decent player, pretty good guy to have on this list. He went to LSU. Next one's a Shreveport product. Jerry Tillery out of Evangel, who was an offensive lineman coming out of Evangel, ended up signing with Brian Kelly in Notre Dame. They converted him to a defensive lineman, and he became an All-American at defensive line there in South Bend. The other name is Kyle Williams. Now, this tells me they're willing to go back to at least 2002 because Kyle Williams played in 2002. So my question is that as far back as we can go? Because I'm going to need probably Marcus Spears on this list. For Jerry Tillery, quite frankly, if we're going back that far. But if we're not, I'm starting to think of guys at LSU who played on the defensive front, specifically defensive tackle. When I think of the biggest names, like Chad Lavallee predates this a little bit, very likely, as a guy that played on the 2003 team with Marcus Spears. As far as other guys on the interior defensive line from Louisiana, Drake Nevis was a great player at LSU. Was he in the category of Glenn Dorsey and Kyle Williams? I don't know. He's certainly a Louisiana product. But 2 guys on the defensive front, not LSU Tigers. Rufus Alexander, Riverdale Christian in Baton Rouge. That was in 2002 as well. I don't know who that is either, but he ended up at Oklahoma. Was a pretty good player. Edgerrin Cooper just finished his career at Texas A&M at linebacker. He's from Covington and makes this list. And then Devin White makes the list for LSU from up there in Spring Hill at North Webster. Devin White, best linebacker I've ever seen at LSU as well. If we were talking about best with Leonard Fournette, Devin White certainly would fit that category for me. I guess Trev Falk and Brady James too early for this as LSU guys at linebacker. Kendall Beckwith probably not in that tier. Kevin Minner, not from the state of Louisiana. He's a Georgia product and was a great linebacker for LSU. Ali Highsmith was a really good linebacker as well. But yeah, I think Edgerrin Cooper's been great at Texas A&M, and Rufus Alexander, I'll have to take your word for it. I don't recall his career 20 years ago at Oklahoma. Then you get to the defensive backs, and you're like, oh, here they come. Here comes LSU with the DBs. And LSU did pretty well at defensive back here. You got Morris Claiborne, Shreveport native. I think that makes all the sense in the world. Got Derek Stingley Jr., who, yes, we wanted to see more of Derek in 2020 and 2021, but we got that incredible freshman year in 2019. And then you got Greedy Williams there, and that tells me you're not going back all the way to Corey Webster. Because Corey Webster, I think, had a better college career than Greedy Williams, although Greedy's was very good, but Corey Webster doesn't make this list. And then LaRon Landry at safety. That's a pretty good one from Hahnville, led the national champions in tackles as a true freshman here. And what that tells me, that exercise with Morris Claiborne and LaRon Landry and Derek Stingley and Greedy Williams, it also tells me, like, man, LSU had some great DBs that weren't from Louisiana. Grant Delpit, Jamal Adams, Patrick Peterson, like, not only were you getting the great players from inside the state that would become great players, I mean, Jalen Mills was from Texas and was a great player here at LSU. You also had Ron Brooks, was a really good player that wasn't from Louisiana. You also had great guys from the state of Louisiana. They just recruited defensive back at a whole nother level than anybody outside of Columbus, Ohio, or Gainesville, Florida, quite frankly. I mean, just crazy stuff. And if you're sitting in your car going, where the heck is Tyrann? Well, he's there. He's on the specialists with Brad Wing. And let's see who else they had there. Oh, I forgot. Coolest thing for me in reading this story. Won't mean anything to those of y'all listening, but Tyrann Mathieu, return specialist. Brad Wing, the punter, who is a Parkview product, even though he was from Australia originally. And then the kicker, none of y'all have ever heard of, but that's okay, because it's Art Carmody. Art Carmody, Loyola College Prep, my mom's godson.
Wow.
It's like a family. Art Carmody. He's my mom's literal godson. Know his family very, very well, have forever. He went to my high school. He was a senior when I was a freshman. Went to Louisville. He was the kicker on the Brom, Petrino, Louisville teams that like set a bunch of scoring records. and he never missed ever. So he set a bunch of scoring records and won the Lou Groza Award at Louisville. So awesome to see Art on that list right there next to Tyrann Mathieu's name. That was very cool. Probably the best high school pitcher on this list as well, old Art. But that's
could have win Colby Delahousse there, maybe.
Could have, but Art won the Groza.
Yeah, Art won the Groza.
So you're not gonna get too far off there. I mean, like Cade York and Cole Tracy, not Louisiana guys. Like Chris Jackson, Colby Delahousse,
Cole David.
David was
Texas. He's Texas.
He's a Texas guy. Drew Alamo was a Louisiana guy.
Yep.
But look,
if you win the Groza, then you
can't argue with Art on that list right there. So and for LSU, I would like to see Corey Webster. I would like to see Marcus Spears on that list. I'd like to see Justin Jefferson on that list.
White.
Tre'Davious White was apologized to. There were a few guys that got apologized to here. Justin Jefferson, Jarvis Landry, Tre'Davious White, Craig Stelz, Landon Collins, and Eric Reed got apologies at the bottom of the story saying, I've only got so much room there. Also, Eddie Lacy and Matt Forte were guys that had fantastic college careers away from LSU. But you look at it in totality, you got 12 on offense, 11 on defense, that's 23, and 3 specialists, that's 26. LSU comes away with 14 of the 26. And I would suggest not a lot of guys you were absolutely just heartbroken to miss. I mean, Cam Robinson was a gut punch. Landon Collins was a gut punch, sure. Devontae Smith, absolutely a gut punch. But some of the guys that went to Louisiana Lafayette, Cedric Van Pran, never going to come here. He always said he wanted to go out of state, go somewhere else. So I thought an interesting exercise that they did over there at the Athletic. So if you want to check it out, you can do so. Hey, thanks for watching Hunt on LSU. Before you get out of here, do us a couple of favors. Hit that like button, leave your comments below, and subscribe to the channel for all your Fighting Tiger football talk. See you next time.